Hello and welcome to the 32nd episode of the BTF Podcast. That is the Back to Football podcast, the number one podcast for people who probably should talk about something other than football. Today, I'm joined by Greg.
Hello.
I'm joined by Levi.
Hello, Dan.
And I'm joined by a newbie for our YouTube channel, Tom.
Good evening. How's it going?
I'm all good. I'm very well. Tom, you are a Liverpool fan.
Indeed, yep.
So you must be having the time of your life at the moment.
Yeah, it's just waiting to wake up really. But no, it's been a great season so far, and I think well deserved imminent Premier League title. Wouldn't you agree, Greg?
Dan, what are we talking about on the show today?
So let's quickly mention your Spurs shirt that you're wearing today. Is that new? A new number?
It is. Yeah, I got it yesterday. It came delivered yesterday. I think it's our absolute sauciest kit. I mean, do you not agree? Is it not the best kit? This is the third kit. This could be a home kit.
I mean, I like it. It reminds me of Ryan Sessegnon. I think when he first signed for Spurs, it was pretty much just I think they released that shirt just after, and so the first promo shot of that shirt was Sess.
I see you wearing it up.
He's so smug.
Levi's been eyeing me up ever since I walked in.
Is that turquoise? Is that a traditional Tottenham Hotspur colour?
I don't really think so. I think it's just...
It is now.
It is now, exactly. Yeah, I love it.
It is now.
It's my favourite kit, I think, that we've had in a while.
It's fine, you're probably going to get relegated anyway at some point.
Well,
okay, Levi.
Yeah.
Okay,
we
mate.
will be talking about Spurs and their injury issues later on in the show. That will be in our Spotify and iTunes exclusive segment. But also on the show today, we are going to be doing a Mount Rushmore of Call of Duty maps. We'll be very briefly touching on Love Island, obviously the events of this week, the tragic events of this week, and therefore we're not going to be covering Love Island quite as extensively as we traditionally have on this show, just out of, it doesn't feel right to be laughing and joking about it this week. So we will touch on that very briefly. We also have some questions from our absent podcast host John, who is off cuddling Mickey and Minnie in Paris, as he phrased it last week. That's not our words. That's his direct quote. He sent some questions in for us, and actually before we get into our Call of Duty Mount Rushmore, I have a jingle that has been sent in for the show by my nephew. Here we go.
You're listening to the BTF Podcast.
Not
Love
bad,
that.
eh?
I do like that.
Enthusiasm unrivaled, unsentimental but affecting. He really is a future star, and maybe one day he can join us here on the channel and present. He's a big Fulham fan, actually. He'll love me talking about this as well, and I need to get the audio at some point to play on the show, but he sang a song that was so factually accurate about Fulham and their transfer policy.
Really?
And the fact that we'd sold Sessegnon to Spurs, that Kamara had gone on loan in Turkey. It was hilarious.
Song that he made?
He was just getting dressed, freestyling it.
Wow.
And my sister sent it to me. But
You
maybe
can get onto our long list of songwriters on the show.
that can be. So it's 1,000 subscribers, and Levi will drop his.
I'll drop my track. Yeah, I will do.
Yeah, and then 2,000 was John, and then maybe 3,000 can be my nephew dropping his Fulham transfer policy diss track.
Perfect.
Which will be quite good. It's a bit like the Anfield rap. What's before we get into that, opinions on the Anfield rap as a song? You know it lyric by lyric?
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, not the there's an Anfield rap podcast, is that right?
Yeah, sorry, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No, the Anfield rap
song.
song.
The Anfield rap, it's a bit of a classic. John Barnes' other rap.
I do not know that.
Do you not know it?
That's probably before my era.
Do you know what?
It was even probably before mine.
Look, it was early 80s.
You know when teams used to do cup final songs?
Yeah.
It was like a cup final song from like the 88 team.
Sorry, I'm not that much of a throwback.
Is there an opportunity here now, given the events of this week on our YouTube channel, to do a reaction video to the Anfield rap?
Oh, blimey.
I think there is.
What do you guys think?
I think there's an opportunity. Quickly then, to touch on that, reaction videos before we go into this sorry if you are like watching this specifically just for the Call of Duty Mount Rushmore, but the Billie Eilish James Bond reaction video that we did, which the link is in the description of this video, which you can go and watch. But we did a review, didn't we? And it didn't go down too well.
I think it went great. I think we're all the people's champions of YouTube, and we needed this.
Some of the...
I think some people would disagree with that almost outlook. I'm sticking to my guns. In reality, Billie Eilish might be to some people's taste, but for me, obviously comparing it to Skyfall, which is my favourite, and I just think comparing it to Skyfall for me, it's just they just don't live up to. They're not on the same level. They're on different levels.
All right, calm down. We want likes on this one.
Tom, are you willing to wade into the swamp here with us?
It's just no Paul McCartney, is it? So.
It is,
He gets it.
Live and let die. He gets it. I'll give one. Well, actually, this is an anonymous user. This was one of the comments. It helps if you actually listen to the song rather than talk the entire way through it. It's awful. How would you know your mouth didn't stop moving the entire time? Dude in the white long sleeve, especially. Here he is over there. He's got blue shirt on today. This was annoying as hell. That's probably that was one of the nice comments I think that we received.
Yeah, my family have said worse than that to me. You got nothing on me.
Yeah, so might be back to the drawing board a little bit with that. But yeah, maybe the Anfield rap will do.
Yeah.
Let's go for our Call of Duty multiplayer map, Mount Rushmore. So the format of this is we all get 4 picks. It's as though, what would be our 4 picks up on Mount Rushmore if they were Call of Duty maps and not US presidents. I'm kind of happy to go right to left and then we snake back.
Yeah, happy with that.
On the YouTube video, that will be bottom right, bottom left, top right, top left, and then back until we've all got 4 picks.
Perfect. Okay.
Cool. So Greg will open up proceedings.
My favourite is Block from Modern Warfare 2. 1?
1.
I think it's a really nice map. It's got a lot of interior going on. It's a little bit like Chernobyl. I just think it's quite it's one of those maps where it's so huge you can get lost and have real good fun. Me and my girlfriend have done a lot of like PvP on there.
What does that mean?
Nice.
Out of context, Greg.
Hang on. I just really like that map, to be fair.
Lovely stuff. All right.
You still didn't clarify what PvP was.
Player versus player, isn't it?
Yeah.
1v1.
Yeah,
I thought it was a type of plastic.
Levi was...
I'd probably say Quarry, Modern Warfare 2.
Classic.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
If you're like me, I wasn't the best at COD, but I quite liked camping. So I'd usually set up camp on one of the little cement blocks, and I'd either shoot from there or snipe from there. So that's my pick of the bunch.
Okay, my first pick would be Afghan, which was from Modern Warfare 2. It's like the desert one. It had a big cargo plane down in the middle, and then had a few caves and a little sort of pillbox hidey
little
hole.
Bunker.
Yeah, exactly.
Again,
a bunker.
Brilliant for camping.
What was the area of that map that was kind of your preferred? Because it kind of had that area around on the cliff on the mountainside on the other side of the cave, and then the plane wreck was on the other side of it.
I liked ones that were a bit of a loop.
Yeah.
So
you could run around the map.
Yeah.
I like that as well.
That was a good one for that.
Yeah, I'm going. My top map is a Modern Warfare 2. So I think a lot of these are probably going to be Modern Warfare 2 just because of our ages and the fact that game was epic. But my first one is going to be Skid Row. That was the one. Do you know the one? It had like the playground kind of in the middle. It was like a housing block.
Yeah.
I just loved that map. If you had,
and you could go up into some of the houses, go up to the second floor and look out onto the middle square bit.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. And again, it kind of had that
quite similar to Block.
Loop element. Yeah, similar to Block. That's going to be my first pick, and then I get another pick because I've gone last, and I think I'm going to have to take again bit of a basic boy pick here, but I'm going to take Rust, which is obviously released this week on Season 2 of Modern Warfare, and it is just a great great map. There are so many lines of sight on there. It's kind of a compact map. Levi, I'll let you interject in a second, but it's a compact map that also has kind of room for intelligent play in there. I think it's the perfect size.
What I want to say is, if you didn't quickscope with your friends on that map, then your childhood was lost. Lost. I just remember just like always split screening with my friends, quickscoping, and then throwing knives on the last kill. It's just one of those things that has to be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, those are my 2 picks, and then Snake back.
So I'm going to stick with Modern Warfare 2 with Terminal. So the airport one.
Classic.
Just had a lot of variety, different heights, different. You had the narrow areas, you had the wider areas, you could go outside, you could go. There was always someone, if you were running low on kills, you could always get someone in the plane. There would 100% always be someone
a little camper. Like hiding up, where the ladder went down at the back of the plane,
yeah.
There'd be someone on the other ledge across
there.
there.
A grenade up there, or if you were like running low on kills that game. So yeah.
That map. I thought that map was brilliant for capture the flag. It's just one of those things where you just knew the hotspots again, obviously, and a little bit by the baggage claim as well, where you'd always have the capture the flag. There, I just always remember throughout my whole childhood, just like playing capture the flag on that map, and it was one of my favourites as well.
I guess this might be an important point, then maybe to make it now before we go any further, is the preferred game modes that we're actually playing, because I think that kind of. I play a lot of no context BTF. I play a lot of domination on Call of Duty multiplayer, and also I guess on the newer games, Kill Confirmed. You like that one, Greg? You like that one?
I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I play a lot of Kill Confirmed and Domination on the newer games. Team Deathmatch every now and then, but I do find that ends too quick these days. So, and hard, like newer ones, Hardpoint and Headquarters. But yeah, what game mode are you playing online, Tom?
Well, it's on the more recent ones. You can like, it's really good. You can like filter them out.
I can't get over his domination. If you didn't say no context, then I wouldn't have picked up on it. But
yeah,
it's the direct into the camera.
Yeah, that would be a good clip. You're right, Tom. You're picking yourself up in the headphone. Can you hear me? Maybe not.
I have to hold it.
But Greg, how about you? Which game mode are you playing?
Campaign, baby.
Campaign. You're playing online. Okay.
Didn't really play COD as a child or throughout my teenage years. I was more of a FIFA lad. But yeah, I care more about the campaign and playing the story, guys. It's all about the story.
Best story COD then at this point?
World at War. World at War.
Okay.
Easy.
Interesting. Okay, so where do we get to then in the...
Probably next. I'm going to say my favourite type of...
Domination.
No.
Game mode.
No, probably Team Deathmatch. I just think it's just the staple almost for the game. You can't go wrong with Team Deathmatch. And I just spent hours and hours playing Team Deathmatches. And am I the next one in...
I believe so.
Yeah, go for it.
And probably too much of my time on it was spent playing Firing Range, which I'm going to go for and just get that out there as well. Probably one of the best maps as well. Being able to lie down in one of the almost portal cabin-like things in the middle and being able to lie flat, camp, and basically get my kills via that way. Or going into the back... There's the back bit of the map just by, I think it's like almost an army truck.
Yeah, where the sandbags and stuff all out there, yeah.
And then there's the little tunnel bit, and the little tunnel has a little gap in between the floor and the container. Yeah. And you can crawl under there. And honestly, as you can tell, I wasn't the best... bit
of a camper.
Best COD player, so I just keep myself to myself and try and get the sneaky kills as well.
Nice.
So that was my go-to.
Cool. Again, Modern Warfare, I like Pipeline.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the 3 different layers. There's a whole underground bit, above ground, and then like a first floor. Just think and it's sort of like a grey, miserable sort of one of those maps that you get a real sort of sense of the atmosphere. That's why I quite like that one.
So, Greg, you have another pick.
I have another pick. Oh, crikey. Escapes me now. The skis Summit. Summit on Black Ops, because I think that is the first map that I played on around one of my mates. Going from memory, that is my first...
Black Ops 1, yeah.
Yeah. That's my first memory of playing a Call of Duty game, so it's always got that stuck with me.
I just looked up Pipeline. It escaped my memory, but yeah, that was a classic map.
Sick one.
Back in the day on the old Xbox, the original Xbox.
Is this my fourth pick now, or is it my third one?
So this will be your third pick.
Third pick. My third pick's got to be High Rise. Just having that again on Capture the Flag, having obviously the iconic helicopter almost in the middle, and there was just loads of vantage points that you can pick up as well. But also, as you're saying as well, like almost confirmed kill areas where you could easily be able to go in. If you smashed the window of the little offices, if you just headed into the offices and hid behind some of the blinds that were there as well, you can just pop up and you'd always have someone jumping through the window.
Yeah, there was some good level, heights that you could get on there as well. If you could climb up the cranes and stuff. And
so good, honestly. If you can climb the cranes across the back and the little like broken bridge across the back as well, you could jump right away across that. One of my favourite maps as well.
It was a good map. There were some really epic videos, I think, from that map of people jumping off the buildings and then throwing the throwing knife to get like the final kill of the game. It's just absolutely ridiculous what some people were doing on that game by the end of it.
Honestly, some of the clips that you watch on Tomahawk kills are mad as well.
Yeah.
Just so mad. Again, obviously off the back crane bit as well. Tomahawk kills off the crane as well. It's just mad clips as well.
Nice. Tom, what's your next pick then?
So my next one would have to be Overgrown, which was from Modern Warfare.
Yes.
It's like a farm. It had like a dried out river in it, which you could kind of go under and kind of sneak up.
Yep.
Or you'd have someone like spawning in the fields that would like pop up behind the wall, or then there was loads of like farmhouses that people would be like in the top windows of like sniping and stuff. So yeah, it had a bit of everything.
There's a few turret guns as well, isn't there? Yeah.
Nice. I think then I've got my final two picks coming up, and then we will go back obviously to Greg for you guys' final picks. I'm going to throw a new one in here. It wasn't actually on my list when I put my list together, but you just said something that like reminded me of it, and that's it's Hijacked. The sort of like the private, what would you call it, like yacht. Yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah,
and the reason I like that is because it had the sticks and stones mode that you could play, which was absolutely unreal. Like if they can bring that back, you'd think possibly they will bring that back because they brought the crossbow, I think, into one of the more recent updates on Modern Warfare.
I stopped playing COD the minute they started flying around. I just thought
so they don't do that anymore.
They stopped.
Yeah,
I need to jump back on it. I need to jump back on it because I just hated all that flying around stuff, and I thought it ruined the game personally, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think that was. I mean, those games I think were enjoyed by loads of people, but I personally prefer as well the more classic COD. If you could say that, like the Modern Warfares were more classic, nearer to realism, I guess, than those other ones. But Hijacked was a great map, and particularly getting to play sticks and stones on there was brilliant. And my final pick then, it's between a couple, and if no one else mentions these, then I'll throw them in as honourable mentions at the end. But I'm going to go with Estate. Shock horror, it's Modern Warfare 2 once again. But this was probably the game that I racked up like 10 days of playing time on, and I don't think I've come anywhere close with any COD game since. And yeah, I really liked Estate. That was the one with the house on the hill. That was like right up on the top of the hill, and then so
from the famous single player mission, right?
Which I probably never
Spoiler
played.
Alert, the one that you die at the end, the ghost.
There we go.
I can't believe you just ruined it for me.
Wow. It's been fun having you, Tom.
It's a 20-year-old game. It's a 20-year-old game at this point. So.
I love that map, and you used to be able to go kind of in the house and hide behind doors, or if you wanted to be just like getting those commando kills out there, it was a great map for that as well. So that's my Mount Rushmore completed, and then we'll go back to Tom.
I've got a choice of two. I'm going to go for Crossfire from Modern Warfare. That was the one that was like a street that went downhill. It kind of went into an S-bend, and you had the street downhill, and then you had all the little houses alongside, so you could like sneak along the outside. It's from the original Modern Warfare. Okay. You had the bus just in the middle of the street, and you always had like snipers on each end.
That was a great map.
So you could there's so many different ways you could play it, because you always had snipers on each end of the map, but then you had like, if you wanted to kind of sneak up on them, you had like the little rows of houses around the side, like going down the hill. So yeah, it had a lot of different ways to play.
To add to that, which is also a point about firing ranges, both of those maps are in the mobile Call of Duty that they released this year, which was like the free game that was actually kind of enjoyable.
People liked it,
yeah, but I think it was because there was a lot of people on there that couldn't play it at all, and that the controls are kind of fiddly. But that map was one of the maps that was included on that, as was firing range. So you'd think that even just to get onto that mobile game, you'd have to be considered as somewhat of a classic map, which I feel like one of the other maps on there may get mentioned in the last two, but I don't know. Actually, probably not.
I'm struggling at the minute. I can't pick between Favela.
Great one.
Or Jungle on Black Ops 1, but I think just in the interest of being just slightly different, I'm going to go for Jungle on Black Ops 1. I think you just, honestly, the most like diverse, almost like player map, I think one of the most diverse in there. And if I'm not mistaken, it had loads of like little like huts in between as well when you cut through the middle of the jungle. So I'm going to go for one of them as well. Brilliant for camping again. Got to throw that in there. Brilliant map for camping.
Just showing absolutely no shame to your approach.
Absolutely not. My approach was...
He's got that Boy Scouts badge. Camp leader.
But yeah, no, spent way too much time. And I'd often actually, on Black Ops, I started tailing off a little bit in Black Ops, but I'd always leave and try and join back to maps that just had jungle on it, actually. So
nice.
That's my pick.
My final pick, this is?
Yeah, this is your final pick.
It was the one, you're going to have to remind me of Transit, the one with the bus that goes in between.
Yep.
Because I remember playing with my mates, we had sleepovers all the time, and they would always intentionally leave me off the bus, so I'd have to run across, and they had like...
It's like a moving bus.
Yeah, so the bus moves, and there's like head crab things that jump onto you.
Must have been zombies.
Zombies? You
must have been playing zombies.
Are we counting zombie maps? Are we?
Because zombies, there is one where if the bus does move and you do get left behind.
Yeah, it's Transit with a Z. So for the purposes of this, we'll allow it because you've played the least Call of Duty out of all of us.
Yeah.
So the fact that you've remembered that name at all is actually a bit of a miracle. And I'm sure anyone watching at home will forgive Greg.
I hope so.
And not be jumping on those comments right now, which we know you will be. So yeah, Transit. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Honourable mentions then. Obviously, no one mentioned the
probably most famous.
Nuketown.
Nuketown.
Right, I've said it. I love that map. It didn't make my Mount Rushmore, but I do love that map. It was very fun. Have you ever played kind of like just with your friends, like 4-player or whatever? It was a good map for that.
I used to love going into the house. I'd put a claymore on one of the doors because then you'd always know when someone's coming. Blow them up, and you'd be able to hide by one of the beds as well. And the minute they come in that room, literally be able to take them out right there and then.
Yeah.
Got a text.
You got a text message. Another honourable mention. Obviously, you said Favela already. For me, Shipment, particularly on World War II, Shipment was great. Just going around with the pump action shotgun.
You're loving it today, aren't you? Domination, pump action.
Just dropping them in.
You know, it's Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday, actually. This is Wednesday.
Wednesday, my dudes.
Yeah, Wednesday, my dudes. Any other honourable mentions from you guys?
I'm all right, I think.
I've got...
Ambush.
Scrapyard. I bloody love Scrapyard. That was one of the best. Vacant. Quarry, that's already been mentioned. But yeah, those are my honourables.
Countdown, which was like had the 3 silos
that was
in the
great.
middle, and you usually just round the outside. But then you could like risk going through the middle and try and sneak up on someone like round the outside. But like then everyone could see you, so you usually just got killed while you're in the middle of there.
Yeah, was that the map that you could actually press a button on it? Like there was one map where it was kind of interactive, where you could actually set the missile to.
That was on Black Ops. That was called Launch, I think.
It was called Launch.
Yeah,
and then the whole floor would start shaking.
Yeah. That was a good map. All right, good memories, boys. Nice. So that does complete our Mount Rushmore of Call of Duty multiplayer maps. And please be kind in the comments and let us know what you think and what we maybe missed out. I'm sure there's so many Call of Duties and there's so many different maps that there'll be tens that we've missed off our lists, but remember that they are personal to us and just leave us alone, basically.
a lot of damage control there.
Yeah. So to continue with the show, we said that we would have some questions from John on the show this week, who is off in Paris. And as we are the Back to Football show, we do like to go back to football on each show. As that's typically what happens, isn't it, when we're out and about. Quick story actually about how the name Back to Football came about, because I hear you all asking while I just find these questions from John. Is I said to Lisa, I said, what would you say if we're at a party or at a wedding or whatever, and the we talk about something, and then I crack a football question out there to everyone in the room, and she said, and it's back to football. So that's where it came from, which I think is quite nice and organic.
Natural.
And yeah, there we go. So here is question number 1 from John Miller.
Good afternoon, lads. Fresh from Disneyland Paris. No cuddle with Minnie or Mickey yet, but still having a good time anyway. Yeah, the trip is young, so there's still time. Anyway, a quick question for you guys to discuss. So with Man City's UEFA Champions League ban, can Sheffield United qualify for the Champions League? And better yet, can they compete?
Levi. Oh, there we go. Talked over him at the end. Levi, Sheffield United, can they qualify for the Champions League? And can they compete?
You know what? I'm going to say yes, just because I think the incentive is almost there now for them. Whereas before they were just performing at a crazy level, punching way above their heights, essentially. I feel like now they've got an incentive where they potentially can get into the Champions League, and I think that would be a massive achievement for the club. And obviously seeing the likes of Leicester winning the Premier League in seasons gone past, I don't see why they can't achieve a similar milestone almost for the club, which it will be.
Awesome. Tom?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what happens in the past when we write off like smaller clubs, if you like, when they're, flying high in the league. We're, getting towards the end of February now, and it's, they've proven that they can cut it with the big boys. They've strengthened in January as well, and now they only have to get 5th potentially. Obviously see what happens with the Man City situation, but yeah, you certainly can't rule it out. And they've come up through the leagues. They've done what a few other teams have done in the past with a bit of continuity in the squads, and then just added a little bit of extra in January, especially with Sander Berge. Yeah, I mean, you certainly wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, but yeah.
I think so as well. I mean, you could have Leicester and Sheffield in the Champions League for us next year. Greg, final point on this one?
First of all, I think it's incredible that they've been banned for the next 2 seasons. It's going to be a real trouble for Pep going forward. Yeah, I do think it's going to be tough. But just looking at the table now, there is only 4 points between 5th and 9th. So I think that it's anyone's game, really. You see Tottenham, they're gathering a bit more momentum. United just beat Chelsea yesterday, a couple of days ago for the pod. I think that Sheffield, to answer the second part of that question, I think it's going to be it'll be a test for Sheffield next season, playing more games than the teams around them at the moment. That is going to be the troubling part. So this season, they've only got the Premier League to worry about, whereas all the teams around them have got Europe, have got cup ties. It will be the test, and I don't think that they'll be able to carry on next season and compete.
So yeah, I think they've got every chance in the Champions League. I don't think they're obviously not going to win it. Famous last words. But yeah, I think, I'd love to see them in there. I think they've had a really good season. So,
I mean, who are we to say they're not going to be able to compete? I think they've way exceeded expectations this season. Chris Wilder's been able to do an amazing job with them, where the likes of even Liverpool, when they went there the first time, we struggled to beat them. And it took a mistake from Dean Henderson, their keeper, to get us the win on that day. So we're meant to be the best team in the world, best team in the league at the minute. And if they're struggling to beat us, then what's to say they can't compete? Obviously, you have more attraction to pull to the club, more players that he can bring in. I doubt it'll be, if he makes Champions League football, I doubt Ollie McBurney will be leading the line in their attack. But that being said, I'll give him a chance. Why not? They could get to the round of 16, and then if they do that, then again they're exceeding expectations. So they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's then. You mentioned briefly there Liverpool. We got the two Reds in the room that are kind of singled out by their microphones there. The two Liverpool fans in the room. We should talk about Liverpool season so far. I guess my opening question is this the best Liverpool team ever?
I'm going to say yes. I've got to say yes, because at this stage, what are we, 26 games into the season? We're still unbeaten. We've dropped
2 points.
2 points this season, and I think Klopp's done an amazing job. He's been able to do exactly what he said he'd come in and do. He said he'd set us up to make Anfield a fortress again, and I think we've dropped very little points at Anfield. We become a team that people come to Anfield, come and play up against us, and they fear us. And I think just being able to have that almost that fear element when teams are coming to play us again is just a brilliant thing. And to be even mentioned in the same almost esteem as the Arsenal Invincibles. I think at this stage, I've said it before and I'll say it again, we're a lot better than the Arsenal Invincibles. Even if they did have Thierry Henry, I don't want to hear it. We're a lot better than the Arsenal Invincibles.
He's brought this up because John can't refute anything.
That's it, yeah. You silenced the man.
You're a Spurs fan. You're a Fulham fan. So, I'm going to go for it this show.
Safe space.
Safe space to share, yeah, exactly. Tom, anything to add to that on the best Liverpool team ever point?
I mean, the seasons that we have had in the past, the teams that we've had, the players that we've had, the fact that it's even a discussion already when, we have only won one major trophy so far in this era, if you like. We've been to 2 Champions League finals in a row. I still think we need to, obviously, confirm the league and then go on and, in the next few seasons not drop off to be considered alongside the 70s and 80s just because they had the longevity. They were winning like several leagues, in each decade, if you like. But in terms of the record that we've got, it will go down in history as one of the greatest seasons that any team has ever had. And I speak to my dad, who's seen it all. He's been to 3 European Cup finals. He's seen all those glory years, and he still counts Bobby Firmino as in his top 3 Liverpool players of all time. So that says something to me on its own almost. So yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. Yeah, I mean, Firmino, I saw sort of comparisons to him. Again, John's not here to defend it, but better than Bergkamp. A lot of people saying that this week. And better than Cantona. Obviously, I mean, I watched a little bit of Dennis Bergkamp's career sort of towards the end. I remember some of his special goals and moments. Less so with Cantona. My early memories of Cantona was his end, the end of him being at Man United. Actually, funnily enough, my dad was the guy that he kung fu kicked. No, but my dad was in the stand, kind of up behind that, so it was right in front of him there at Palace.
Crazy.
Wow. In the main stand where Cantona, kind of lost his head as such. But yeah, I mean, I think Firmino is a great player. That's the thing. You look through that whole Liverpool team; it is made up of great players who are also great leaders and captains at international level. And there's no wonder that they are so great this year. And then they're led by maybe at least the best manager that we've seen come into the Premier League in the last 10 years. I think he's better than Pep.
What I'd probably say, what I'd add on that argument is Firmino, when we look at him as a player, he can finish. He pops up in loads of areas in the box. He's almost got that in the box predator almost finishing as well. But he's got almost an all-round type player where he can drop back, track back, make them tackles as well for the team. He works hard for the team. So in terms of looking at him as an all-round player, why not? He's better than Bergkamp. Why not? But in terms of maybe the more intricate elements, the finishing in the box, the creativity, maybe that's up for debate. But if we're talking about an all-round player, let's make bold statements. This Liverpool team are doing. I would say we're going to finish with a better record than the Arsenal Invincibles.
Yes.
I'm going to put.
Haven't you already? Aren't you like 2 points? Yeah.
I think they had so many draws on their record. 26 wins. I think they had. And like
13 draws. 12 draws.
They're in double figures for draws. So I think I can quite confidently say we'll have a better record than them. We'll have a better points tally than them. We've done that last season. And whether we can replicate it or not, people said we couldn't replicate it last season. People said, "Oh, Salah's a one season wonder." Everyone's always got something negative to say about Liverpool. But look, I'm interested to hear what everyone else has got to think. Like,
I think when you're looking at these comparisons, the nostalgia comes into play massively, and I think unless you're talking about Messi or Ronaldo, there's very few players who, like, when they're actually playing, get spoken about in those terms. And we saw recently with Carragher and Roy Keane now having their debate about like Man United 99 versus Liverpool, current Liverpool, and Roy Keane just wasn't having it. And it was almost just based on like the names. He was like, "Oh, you can't have Mane instead of Giggs." Like, well, why not? Like, it's because like these guys, they finished their career, they've been built up, and yeah, I think obviously Bergkamp, Henry, like absolutely all-time greats in the Premier League. But I think when this team's gone, they'll be spoke about in the same sense.
That's one player out the whole team. I won't touch. Thierry Henry, incredible player. I don't think there's anyone almost that reaches that almost standout level yet. But in terms of the whole team, how we work as a unit, how the team works hard for each other, then I've got to say, I'm going to keep on saying it. We're a lot better than them collectively as a team, and we'll be a lot better than the Man United 99 team. You think Jaap Stam can contest with Virgil van Dijk? That's a joke. That's a joke if you're still making that comparison.
Jaap Stam walked, so Virgil van Dijk could run. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it speaks a lot because Klopp came in 2015, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think that it speaks a lot when you look back and he's talking about, I'm going to change the philosophy here. I'm going to change the dynamic. We are going to be the ones to beat. We're going to win. And everyone sort of laughed at him, really, with that current Liverpool team. We're not laughing now, are we, really? I mean, it says a lot that he's stuck with that. And over 5 years, he's changed that. I don't know if you agree. Or,
I'm not going to lie, I'm loving this.
Yeah,
I'm loving
I know.
it.
I'm hating saying all this.
I'm in a room with people who've actually got something positive to say about Liverpool. Yeah. That's one thing, my pet hate. Everyone will, like, put up other clubs, I think, when they're doing well and say, "Oh my God, this Man City team are unstoppable. They're incredible." But when it comes to Liverpool, we've almost got this hated club almost image where the first opportunity people get to tear Liverpool down, they'll take it. They'll take it. They'll be like, "Oh, nah, Salah's going to be a one-season wonder." Prove them wrong. But they're still not happy. "Oh, Mane's not one of the best wingers in the world." He's showing it at the minute.
Yeah.
He literally come back from injury, come straight into that game against Norwich, and he got a Man of the Match award straight up in 30 minutes. Players that do that are world-class players, should be mentioned in the same esteem as the best players in the world.
I think that it speaks a lot in football, especially if you're the team that everyone's hating, you're doing a good job. You're doing what you should be.
And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, saying that they've proved it to people. And I think that is the thing. So even if you traditionally are not a fan of Liverpool and traditionally dislike Liverpool, it is undeniable now this year that, you know, what they're doing week in, week out, we haven't really ever seen anyone have a Premier League season like this. Yeah. And I think it's when you kind of prove that, you know, it's not just... So I think people's issue maybe before was that Liverpool fans maybe spoke about this team like it was the best team ever, and it was still having probably a similar season to maybe what City have had. Like, so last year, where City this year have been sort of on and off, and they lose a game here and they lose a game there, it's very easy for then, you know, non-Liverpool fans to say, yeah, they're not the best, and why are you going on about them like they're the best? This year, they have hands down proved to everyone that you can't say shit about them. Like, it's like Floyd Mayweather, like going 49-0, 50-0. You can't say, like, if someone doesn't lose, what can you say against them? They dropped 2 points against Man United at Old Trafford or at Anfield?
Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford, and that's their biggest. You know, that's probably the biggest derby in English football, and they still got a point out of that game anyway. You can't say anything bad about this Liverpool team. I mean, I guess Napoli's kind of their the only team that's taken any points from them this season, or at least beaten them. And that was the same last year. So there's some weird kind of relationship there that you've got going on with Napoli, who themselves actually are having a pretty awful season.
Let's hope it's a good sign. Let's hope we can win the Champions League again. Why not?
Would you?
I mean, we are at the moment on to beat Arsenal's best season, United's best season, City's best season, and we've only conceded 15 goals. So if we didn't concede any more goals for the rest of the league, we'd also have equaled Chelsea's best season.
Oh, I hate this, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who can say? And by the time this goes out, we might have lost to Atletico Madrid. But
yeah, true.
let's hope we haven't jinxed it.
But all I'm saying is we won the Champions League in that stadium. So I'll say we'll take the W tonight anyway.
Last night. Time moves in mysterious ways. Okay, so let's round off the show then with John's second point, and we'll try not to ramble on too much about this one because this is a point that we could literally talk all night about. So here's the question.
Afternoon, lads. Hope the BTF podcast goes well today.
It is, thank you.
Quick question for you to discuss. So will this season be known as the VAR season? And will modern football be divided into the pre-VAR and post-VAR?
All right, so there's the question.
That is a question.
Tom, a fresh take on this that we've not had on the BTF podcast before. Pre-VAR and post-VAR, is that something that's going to be known in modern football?
I mean, as bad as it's going this year, people are saying that it's going to be a one-off, or that they'll sort of take it off the table. I don't personally think that they will now. I think that they've put it on a pedestal too much. But obviously it's got some massive flaws. Even just in the results that it's bringing out, the decisions that it's bringing out aren't perfect. And I think even if you could say that the decisions were perfect, I still think the impact that it has on like the fan experience, you've seen like fans, muted their celebrations just because they're worried that a goal's going to get ruled out, and that's like half the point of football. You know, if you're in a crowd, that euphoric moment when you score a goal, that is football to me. You're never going to get that at cricket, you're never going to get that at rugby, you're not going to get that at any other sport but football. And for that to go as a result of VAR, no amount of decision correcting is going to be worth that for me. I watch a lot of German football as well. There was a game this weekend where the striker rounded the keeper, put it in the net, all his teammates ran over to him, and he was like, calm down. He didn't want to celebrate, he just wanted to wait for the check. And that was, I've never seen a player do that before. You've seen sort of fans be like, but I've never seen a player do that before, and that was like a new low for me, because it's just like we're taking the passion out of the game, and that's like half the reason why any of us will be involved in football. So yeah, I really hope that they can dial it back, try and take examples from other sports, how they do it, and just to improve the fan experience. I just hope they can improve it, but I do think that it will continue. Otherwise, Liverpool's title this year is going to have a big asterisk, just because it's the only season with VAR.
You may get a retrospective title anyway at some point.
I'll just say
with City in the dirt.
They probably should stop I describe them as the toenail offsides, because they're so marginal that is what I think is taken away from the game. The almost marginal offsides that are still, although it's computerised, are still within a margin of error. I think that is the aspect of the VAR that really, really is doing my head in. I think an example of it yesterday was really good.
Dan's lost something
or 2 nights ago. It was the Harry Maguire.
Can't find my drink. Where is it? It's over there, behind the camera.
I've got it.
Is the
Grace got me.
Harry Maguire incident where Giroud scored yesterday, but he'd actually tucked his feet right the way back, and you guys are distracting me with all this water passing around.
Live TV.
Because he was coming from the bottom of the video up with the drink, which was very nice.
So instances like that where there was slightly more room for Giroud to actually be ruled offside, but the marginal ones that have been picked out this season, the armpit offsides, the toenail offsides, I just think they've got to go because they're so difficult to call, and even with VAR, they're still within the margin of error. That I just don't think they should be a thing.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I think in football we want to see more goals, and it's stopping goals. And
yeah, exactly.
That's all I've got to say on it.
It puts
really.
all the pressure onto the striker. Like if the striker makes a 1 millimeter mistake, the player's dead. If the defender makes a 1 millimeter mistake, it just kind of carries on as normal.
Exactly.
And it's not like the reason why the offside law was brought in the first place. It was to stop like
Goal
someone
hanging.
standing like 25 yards like beyond the line. So it just completely flies in the face of like the spirit of the rule, if you like.
Of course.
So I completely agree.
Cool. I think we'll leave it there on VAR because, like I say, it's a never-ending topic. As we have time, there's one really quick question here from John, which is a quiz question, and fastest finger first on this one. Who can give us the answer?
Okay, which player holds the record for the most goals scored in consecutive Premier League games?
Jamie Vardy.
Correct. How many?
That was fastest person to do it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I went for it. Sorry.
Too polite over here.
How many games did he score consecutive goals in?
7.
9.
7.
I'm about to say 9.
9.
9.
You're gonna stick with 9. You're not gonna.
Nah, because
how do I do a tie break then?
I'm pretty sure I know it's 9.
All right, so you're both nearest. And as a tiebreaker, we will do.
What was it?
It was 11.
Oh, okay.
We'll do. Which player scored in the most consecutive Premier League seasons? And again, fastest first.
Frank Lampard.
Frankie Lampard. And Levi, I'll give you a chance to interject. I'll tell you that Tom's wrong, just in case you decide to go with his answer again.
I'm struggling with this one. I'm just going to throw one.
Do you want to know how many seasons in a row he scored?
Yeah.
Because it might give it.
Tom, I've got a clue.
21 seasons in a row.
What?
He scored
Premier
in
League.
Premier League seasons.
Do you know it now?
Can I answer? Am I in this, or is this tiebreaker?
It's
tiebreaker.
tiebreaker. Yeah.
Greg.
That's how it works.
Irrelevant.
Rules are rules.
I'll sit with the audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. Steven Gerrard, I don't know.
No.
Giggs, is it?
Ryan Giggs is correct. So I think we'll just call this one a draw.
I'll take it.
But yeah, so that does round off the BTF podcast for this week. It's been a slightly longer video version for this week, so do let us know if you preferred this to us having the audio exclusive content on Spotify and iTunes. You, of course, may be listening to this on Spotify and iTunes right now, in which case carry on doing so. But yeah, if you'd like to look at us and look at our little faces on your phone or your tablet, or someone was watching us on one of those like the Alexa show things.
Oh wow,
like, yeah,
really?
the home things. Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's insane.
We're like inside there.
Shout out.
Shout out, yeah.
Keep watching on it.
So yeah, let us know what devices you were watching us. The most this morning kind of Richard and Judy fan interaction there. But
Alexa, subscribe to this podcast.
yeah, nice, clever, getting in with Alexa there. So yeah, that does conclude our podcast for this week. Tom, thank you very much for joining us at late notice.
Cheers.
Greg, cheers for being on.
Cheers.
And Levi, happy birthday for this week as well.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
We're loving
Happy
the
birthday,
fresh
mate.
trim that you got as
Yeah,
well.
birthday trim. I cheated on my barber.
Oh dear, what a note to end the show on.
sorry.
We'll have more on that story next week. So like and subscribe below. And yeah, as always, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.